All right, welcome everybody. My name is Kyle. I'm the product lead for the employee self-service agent. And on behalf of our amazing product team and our wonderful partners, I'm really excited today to join Swati and Vinuta to tell you a little bit more about ESS. But before I get in on that, just as a show of hands, how many folks here have started building or are planning to build an agentic experience for employee services like HR or IT? All right, fantastic. Well, you're in the right place then. So let's jump in and talk a little bit more about ESS. First, just a bit about the problem space that we're trying to solve. You've probably heard a lot this week about 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗀𝗃𝗃 Copilot being AI for work and a productivity center of gravity. But as we've been developing ESS, we've been thinking a lot about how agentic experiences can go beyond productivity and into things like the ways that employees interact with their workplace. And that kind of interaction with workplace, generally we call employee service delivery. This space has a lot of really unique challenges. And in some cases, optimizing to solve those challenges can actually be at odds with optimizing to solve for productivity challenges. And we've worked over the past year with about 40 customers in our preview program to identify those challenges and to refine our story for ESS. And you're actually going to hear from a few of those customers a little bit later. But before we do that, let's talk about some of those challenges, just a little sampling. First and foremost, the organizations often struggle with the number of experiences they have for employee service delivery. Here at Microsoft, we actually, in HR alone, our global footprint has over 100 tools for employees. In addition, you need to be able to customize an experience like this because it's the face of your company to your employee base. And finally, the authoritative nature of content and policy information and systems of record means that you need to have trusted official knowledge responses and actions that are identifiable as trustworthy and protected for employees. And apart from those challenges, there's actually some opportunities in this space as well. One of the most exciting opportunities is there's immediate and quantifiable value in an experience like this in OpEx, reducing OpEx expenses by reducing human-attended ticketing. And so we're really excited to address those needs and to go after those opportunities. And today we're announcing the availability of Employee Self-Service Agent in Microsoft 365 Copilot. ESS is a custom agent in Copilot Studio. It's a fully extensible using Copilot Studio, but also we provide accelerator packs. You can think of these as like starter kits that give admins and makers a leg up in creating an agent for employee support. This agent leverages the best of M365 Copilot and that ecosystem, including the Microsoft Graph, but it also has capabilities that are specifically designed for employee service delivery. And we focused on creating a streamlined, centralized experience that allows employees to get personalized and contextual answers and to take actions all without navigating away to multiple tools. We're going to dig into the details in a moment, but first, let's take a look at the agent in action from the perspective of an employee.
An employee at Relic Cloud. From Microsoft 365 Copilot, he clicks into the Employee Self-Service Agent, his centralized experience to resolve any HR or IT issue and task. Alternatively, Adi could also just mention the Employee Self-Service Agent in Copilot. Adi needs to take care of a family member and wants to understand company policies. The Employee Self-Service Agent provides policy information based on official sources, considering Adi's employment type and geographic region. As he considers options, Adi asks about the paid time off policy too. The agent delivers more policy information considering Adi's hire date, role type, and geographic location. This is configured in Copilot Studio by his organization's admin, including SharePoint sites. Adi then proceeds to check his PTO balance. Now that Adi has the information he needs, he asks the agent to start a paid time off request for October 30th. The agent submits the request and delivers a confirmation to 𝗦𝗲𝘀𝗀𝗃. 𝗦𝗃𝗀𝗃 can come back anytime to check on the status of his request. This leave management use case is a custom workflow and leverages the code samples included for employee self-service agent to connect to HCM systems. 𝗦𝗃𝗀𝗃's having a tough time with his manager. He asks the agent for support. The agent recognizes it's a sensitive issue, and instead of generating a response, it redirects 𝗦𝗃𝗀𝗃 to the HR team. But the agent's functionality doesn't stop there. 𝗦𝗃𝗀𝗃 also needs a little help with the camera on his device. He is given specific instructions and the option to let the agent troubleshoot for him. 𝗦𝗃𝗀𝗃 launches the troubleshooting tool within the agent, and the tool runs diagnostics based on his query, which resolves his camera issue. 𝗦𝗃𝗀𝗃's tech concerns aren't over yet. He is now having trouble accessing company resources on his phone and asks the agent for help. He is given steps to resolve the issue based on his company's device management SharePoint site. After following the instructions, he still needs more assistance. The agent recommends using a live chat or creating an IT ticket. 𝗦𝗃𝗀𝗃 chooses to create a help desk ticket via ServiceNow Power Platform connector built by Microsoft, and the employee self-service agent pre-populates his request based on his chat history for him to submit. He can come back and check on status update ticket or close ticket right here in the agent anytime. Later, 𝗦𝗃𝗀𝗃 notices that his current laptop is running slowly and can't keep up with the new tools required for his role. Wanting to check if he's eligible for replacement, 𝗦𝗃𝗀𝗃 turns to the employee self-service agent for help. The agent quickly provides him with the company's official device replacement policy and asks if he'd like to start the process. 𝗦𝗃𝗀𝗃 agrees, and the agent brings now virtual agent into the conversation to guide him through the next steps. Without leaving his chat, now virtual agent gives 𝗦𝗃𝗀𝗃 the option to begin a new order. 𝗦𝗃𝗀𝗃 accepts, and now virtual agent displays a list of eligible laptop models based on his role and department. After reviewing the options, 𝗦𝗃𝗀𝗃 selects the device that best fits his needs. Now virtual agent confirms his shipping address, creates the order request, and submits it for approval. Here we've seen 𝗦𝗃𝗀𝗃 get all the HR and IT help he needs throughout key moments in his employee lifecycle, whether leave management or device troubleshooting, ensuring faster resolution and a streamlined experience.
All right, poor 𝗦𝗃𝗀𝗃, he was having a rough time, but it's a good thing ESS was there to help him out. Let's unpack some of this. First, the employee self-service agent, as I mentioned, is fully customizable and extensible in Copilot Studio. So you can tailor it to fit your exact organization's needs. Swati is going to get into this in more depth in a moment, but the key takeaway here is it gives you faster time to value in a very complex space and also enables a custom experience that's optimized for your organization. Secondly, building on the M365 Copilot ecosystem to design this complementary agentic experience specifically for employee service delivery means you get a trusted, specialized agent. And it has capabilities like authoritative source support, relevant and kind of personalized responses, custom disclaimers, and also company-crafted responses for when you want a response that isn't an agentic response, for example, for sensitive topics. And a bunch more. And we just saw a bunch of that in the demo video here. Those capabilities not only deliver reduced ticketing, but also increased employee satisfaction. And finally, because we're living in this world where we have all these different employee experience tools, the ESS agent helps provide an experience where employees can turn to it for HR and IT, and in the future, other needs, and be able to achieve tasks there by connecting to existing systems and tools and the Microsoft Graph. And it also enables personal context, as we saw in the video, and handoff to agents when that's appropriate, all without ever leaving the ESS experience. And what that gives you is simplicity for employees, because it's one place for them to go to get the answers and the actions that they need. Now I'm going to address something we get asked a lot about ESS right up front here. We're making ESS available two ways. The first way is if an employee has an M365 Copilot user license, they get to use ESS included in that license. But we've heard one piece of overwhelming feedback. These types of experiences are not have and have not type experiences. They should be for every employee in an organization. So additionally, we're making ESS available through Copilot Chat, where you can get consumption-based billing on top of prepaid Copilot credits or pay-as-you-go. With that, I'm going to give you a bit more insight on ESS. Please join me in welcoming Swati Gulati, who's a principal product manager on the employee self-service agent team, to the stage.
Thanks, Kyle. Let's switch the gears a bit. We all saw the experience Adi had, but how did it come to life in his organization? So talking about the maker journey, it's a custom engine agent that we have built in Copilot Studio. So how do we bring it to life? So ESS supports integration with the knowledge sources like SharePoint, Copilot connectors, and M365 self-help. Admins can, of course, bring in more knowledge sources if they have in Copilot Studio. But as Kyle mentioned, throughout these integrations, we have made sure you have enough capabilities to make sure your employees do get very relevant and personalized responses from the official sources of information that are being designated in Copilot Studio while configuring Employee Self-Service Agent. ESS does come with some out-of-the-box connectors and the workflows, giving you a head start. But I just want to say, these integrations are complex, as you might have already experienced with these different connectors, and there's no one-size-fits-all. So with the proper setup and the V team from your side, who are the subject matter experts, it is essential to loop them in to make sure that you can enable those integrations as part of ESS. And then to give your employees a single entry point for employee experience so that they are not hopping across the different apps and the different agents, ESS supports the handoff to both the first party as well as the third party agents, while preserving the context of the whole conversation. So what that would mean is, if an employee is starting in ESS and for some specialized prompts they need to be handed off to a specialized agent, it can be done without losing any context of the information, and the employee doesn't have to repeat the information here. And if you need more than the included workflows, you can definitely leverage the Copilot Studio here. And in a bit, we will talk in depth about how you can extend Employee Self-Service Agent and what tools are available to you to make that happen. With the included connectors for Workday, SuccessFactors, and ServiceNow, you can enable a wide range of scenarios, which include the read and the update scenarios across your organizations. And for those who are looking to go further, we will dive further into the extensibility options. And before that, building on the connectors which are included in ESS, I'm very excited to show how we are further extending these possibilities through a new partnership that will unlock more value for your organization. And I'm thrilled to announce that we are partnering with ADP to unlock the powerful new scenarios for HR and payroll. And this collaboration will just make the work easier, more connected, and more seamless experience for your employees. So let's do a quick recap. What we have looked so far is what integrations are included and what integrations are coming next. Now let's take a quick look at, for example, if you need to further extend ESS, you need to bring in more systems of record. You need to enable more scenarios that you don't see in the out-of-box value. So how do you go about it to make sure that ESS can be very relevant to what you need in your organization? So for that, with ESS, you do get a growing sample of open source extensibility code. It is available on GitHub. It's available on Microsoft Learn. And with this, for example, if you need to enable scenario around the time off, you need to enable scenarios around what is the service anniversaries for my reportees, or you need to pull up some dining menu in the specific cafe. All those possibilities are available now. So essentially, if you can define a workflow, you can build it into ESS. And ESS is not limited to just the connectors that you just saw. They are supported out of the box, but again, because it's in Copilot Studio, you can bring in any connectors that exist there to extend your scenarios through ESS. So in short, there's a clear path that you can follow, starting from simple out-of-the-box deployment, and then you can highly customize it so that you start small and then you scale as your needs evolve. And talking about the evolution, many of you, I'm sure, you raise your hands, you have been thinking about the AI, so you might have already built, you must be planning to leverage additional agents in your organization. The question is, how do you still make sure that employees continue to have a single front door, even with these multiple agents? So let's see how ESS makes that possible. So we have partnered with Workday and ServiceNow to provide out-of-box handoff scenarios. But it doesn't stop there. So if you have built in-house agents, you're leveraging some other third party or the line of business agents, you can create the triggers and the templates within Copilot Studio to enable the handoff to those additional agents, thereby, again, giving your employees that continuity of experience while staying within the same ESS canvas and not losing the context of the conversation. And again, this is yet another announcement. I'm super excited. You saw in the previous slide, we have integration for the Workday as well as the ServiceNow agents. And now we're excited to announce that we are expanding our collaboration with SAP. So going forward, we are working with them to make sure that ESS agent provides a handoff into the Joule agent, specifically to unlock scenarios around the HR and the payroll insights. For example, if employees want more details on our paycheck discrepancy, they will be able to get that through the Joule's capabilities here. I've done enough of talking. Let's all see it in action now. And we're going to present a quick demo that brings live this whole experience now.
The employee self-service agent is the centralized experience in 𝗦𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 Copilot for employee service delivery, combining included accelerator packs for a jumpstart, while also being fully extensible. Let's walk through the agent configuration experience in Copilot Studio with 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀's HR admin. The agent leverages the power of AI, but always keeps admins in the driver's seat, accelerating time to value, and providing the flexibility and guardrails that services teams need. We'll look at the setup experience from the HR point of view, but an IT admin would follow a similar flow. 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 sets up the employee self-service agent in Copilot Studio, initially using the agent starter for HR. She selects Create from the left rail, then under Install a Managed Agent, she chooses Employee Self-Service, HR. This is the recommended path for organizations starting with a single vertical, HR or IT. Organizations can also start with multiple verticals in one agent for a centralized experience using a simplified approach, ideal if they have less extensive knowledge sources and shared workflows, and without a need for domain-specific roles and permissions. After installation, 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 is ready to set up the agent. She clicks on the Employee Self-Service agent in Copilot Studio and is taken to the overview screen. Here she can customize the agent to tailor to her organization's needs, give it a name and description, for example. You can also see the model that the agent is using. She can also give instructions for this agent. They set the tone and provide direction on how the agent should respond to user queries. Now, 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 moves to the Knowledge tab to add knowledge sources. She selects SharePoint to add 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀's main HR site and time away policy repository. The HR site includes the HR FAQ knowledge source. Then, it's time to add a filter to make sure the agent does not pull in duplicative or obsolete content. 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 heads to Advanced Settings, where she can filter by any condition she wants, including date created, modified, and who the content was authored by. 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 adds the ServiceNow Graph connector built by Microsoft as a knowledge source. This gives users more personalized responses with user criteria, hierarchical permissions, and advanced scripting. Pre-configured workflows from the Employee Self-Service agent include a robust topics library for top HR and IT scenarios. Now, 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 clicks the Topics tab to customize the pre-configured official sources topic workflow and add an official source. She can then test her agent by asking a related question that would trigger an official source and a disclaimer. 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 also adds a verbatim response for when the agent identifies a sensitive issue, such as readjustment after returning to work. She wants to confirm the topic flow and test the agent to make sure the employee is directed to the right experience. Also within the settings, 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 customizes the agent and installs the available Workday Accelerator package, which provides pre-configured workflows such as enabling managers to view their direct reports' performance goals in Employee Self-Service agent. 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 then leverages a starter topic to customize a new agent handoff topic for SAP Joule agent. Here, 𝗦𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 is customizing a topic workflow for transferring a direct report from one team to another. She then tests the handoff to SAP Joule, which happens within the Employee Self-Service Agent experience. Employee Self-Service Agent is fully extensible, making it possible to configure custom scenarios like this one. Mona reviews pre-populated starter prompts she wants employees to see. These are fully customizable and should be based on the top employee issues in your organization. Now it's time for Mona to publish the agent, and with just a few clicks, the agent can now be published to the integrated apps in Microsoft Admin Center. Jumpstart HR and IT support with Employee Self-Service Agent in Microsoft 365 Copilot, your centralized experience for employee service delivery.
Awesome. So we configured Employee Self-Service Agent. We made it available to our employees. What's next? We need to look at the insights to make sure ESS is delivering what you the reason for which you deployed it. So with ESS, analytics meet you where you are. So makers who configured Employee Self-Service Agent, they can track usage, they can track the trends, they can track what quality of responses are being generated in Copilot Studio. While the leaders, they will very soon be able to track the business outcomes in Copilot Dashboard. And together, they do provide a complementary view, I would say, to make sure ESS is performing and scaling in your organization based upon your committed goals here. And before I move on, I have a very quick question for you all. Now, since you have seen it in action, what KPIs really matter to you when you are going to improve employee experience with something like ESS Agent? Will it be time savings? It will be great if somebody can raise their hands if, out of these 4 metrics, which ones resonate the most to you that you would love to gauge with ESS? Is it time savings? OK. Ticket deflection? OK. I see a lot of hands raised for that. Employee satisfaction? Awesome. We all are in for employee experiences. Great. Cost reduction. Awesome. Thank you so much for giving those inputs. Really helpful. All right. So we got a good overview of how ESS can be configured and what the experience looks like. And now let's look at some real-world examples. I'm going to take you down on the journey of a few of our customers who have been with us deploying and configuring Employee Self-Service Agent, and what is top of mind for them, how they got started on the journey, and what they have been able to deliver. So I'm very, very grateful for all these partnerships. So we will see Kantar. Let's kick off with them. They have been amazing, providing us feedback step by step to make sure that ESS can be made better. So thank you so much, Kantar team. And they have recorded a quick video for us to play. So let's do a quick walkthrough of that.
I made that conscious choice to step out my comfort zone, begin to learn how AI was working so I could get the most out of that journey for myself, but also for Kantar. How can we use agentic workflows to help save time, money, and organizational effort? The immediate use case that came to me was some kind of HR advisory agent. The request verification is when I've asked the agent. Using Copilot Studio, we developed 10 agents, all with specific small tasks. One to find documents, one to compare documents, one to translate, rewrite the document in Kantar's voice. It's natural that you think of the big things first, but then you suddenly realise that there's a lot of work that no one wants to do.
Getting the data right was probably a bigger effort, bigger shift than actually deploying the agents, and I never would have guessed that at the beginning of this journey.
And that's where the opportunity of introducing AI to do some of that dirty work that no one wants to do is a great opportunity to get started.
The technology works. As you think about your preparation for agentic AI, it's about confidence of your people.
John inspired me to build my own agent. I built several agents for the talent acquisition team that allow recruiters to focus on proactive sourcing, engaging with the right caliber of candidates.
We're expecting to see a significant reduction of queries that will free up our teams to focus on more specialist support.
The workforce of tomorrow will be a mixture of agentic AI and people.
Build small agents, learn from that, begin to join them together, understand how they work effectively together. Your own creativity will probably outstrip the ambition you had in the first place.
Awesome. So next, I really want to kind of talk about another customer, Anji. So they have enabled ESS for both HR and IT scenarios, and they have been incredible partners, being along with us for over 8 months now. And they have been giving us feedback on the various aspects of employee self-service, like response quality, the performance, and whatnot, and we have worked together to make it better. So what you're seeing here on the slide is a quick journey that they have been on to enable employee self-service agent in their organization. And now I'm going to introduce you all to Vinuta, who is a principal product manager at Microsoft, and she has been instrumental in enabling employee self-service agent internally at Microsoft. So before we made it available to our external customers, we deployed it internally at Microsoft. She will talk about the scale and the journey on that. And we had amazing learnings internally at Microsoft before we kind of extended that value prop to the customers. So Vinuta, welcome.
Thank you, Swati, and it has been an incredible journey so far for us in the ESS, deploying that ESS at Microsoft. And hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I will be sharing Microsoft's ESS implementation journey as a customer, along with our strategy, implementation approach, and the quick results that we have seen so far in our implementation. So at Microsoft, what we have heard so far is ESS is kind of a front door for all employee inquiries as such. So we went with that as a strategy and the approach as a single entry point for Microsoft inquiries and connecting to various knowledge sources and systems and tools across IT, HR, and also facilities as kind of the 3 functions in Microsoft. So you heard it right. So it's not just IT and HR. We also went ahead and implemented additional corporate function facilities within ESS at Microsoft. This front door approach basically helped us with the adoption by allowing employees to access everything in one place, right? So that was a key for the adoption, for the usage, and for employees to come and find the information that they are looking for or complete the task that they are really looking into, right? Whether it is submitting it for a vacation or it is finding what are kind of the next anniversary dates coming up for the manager so that they can prep an email and send it out to that employees. So whatever those actions may be, the employees were able to complete it within the ESS as such. And with the hyperlinks and enabling all those capabilities within the responses, employees were also able to navigate to other resources and kind of the other systems through ESS. So that is kind of one of the go-to place for all Microsoft employees and managers to go and find information or complete a task or find a system where they can go in depth and complete a workflow. And right now, we have basically deployed Microsoft ESS to all 200,000 Microsoft employees, right? So we started it very small, right, with just HR policy information and rolled out to a small group of employees within UK. And then in phase 2, we added IT vertical and configured the ServiceNow graph connector, which had more about the KB articles of IT help desk and also the content that is out there in HR with other knowledge sources. And in this phase 2, we also added few actions and introduced few action scenarios for HR and IT help desk in terms of creating tickets or transferring to the live agents or reading your own employment data from the employees in terms of whether it is your job function information, which cost center you belong to as such, right? So those were kind of the employment-related data that we were able to basically roll out in phase 2. And phase 3, we introduced the facilities team, where we were able to introduce more scenarios, like campus-related facilities, booking a conference room, or like booking a shuttle, or finding a kind of cafeteria nearby, and more scenarios as such. And you have seen the pattern while we are introducing kind of the new scenarios and new knowledge sources. We were also basically rolling out to the more audiences globally to ensure there is a gradual path of engagement and also adoption overall at Microsoft. And then like customer zero teams here at Microsoft, we continue to enable more data actions and based on the user feedback and the support ticket analysis. And it is good to see like most of you were really looking into like support ticket deflection, the ticket deflection for your support teams all across. And that is one of the goals that we also have at Microsoft. And we started introducing more scenarios and more action scenarios as such based on that. As of last August, basically, we have rolled out ESS to not only the Microsoft employees, full-time employees, but also to the external staff. So now it's like as of last August, so it is basically like enabled for all Microsoft employees and external staff. And throughout this journey, there are three things that we were continually working horizontally. One is to ensuring the compliance is in place, right? So starting from the privacy, the security, and the accessibility, but also the RAI compliance that is in place to ensure is like the responses are relevant to the particular user, and like there is no hallucination or like less of a hallucination that is happening with the ESS agent. And then we continuously work on kind of the voice of the customer listening and the user feedback mechanisms as well, right? So in that way, which basically helps us to prioritize what is the next things and the roadmap items that we really want to enable for the successful employee engagement and productivity within Microsoft. And the last but not the least is like we had like user adoption guidelines and also the communications that we shared with all the employees as we roll out new features for them to try out, give them the sample prompts and the tryout prompts as well, so that is like they can look into it and try it out and start seeing and trusting the agent more and more for them to come and to repeat, gain the kind of the repetition and kind of use them as such. So wanted to share some of the early results that we are seeing here at Microsoft, right? At Microsoft, employees are 25% more likely to get an inaccurate, accurate response than before, and also 31% less likely to submit a ticket with Ask HR systems. And IT teams have also observed that 36% of 36% success rate with the, when compared to the current channels that they had in place. And we also have seen employees improve their productivity, their satisfaction as they engage with ESS, because it is one place that they can go to find the information and to complete the task as such, and they don't have to like have a cognitive load on where to go for what as such. And as we continue to add more scenarios, we monitor the impact that ESS is having across our employee engagement, and we continue to measure the efficiency gains across these three functions. So what is next within the Microsoft as such? Now we have rolled out ESS globally all across. We have enabled the knowledge sources. We have also enabled basically the small actions that employees can do within ESS. Now we are investing in agentic AI transformation. We are building both autonomous and semi-autonomous agents, and we are implementing these agents by redefining and simplifying the business workflows. As an example, we have created a document generation agent supporting an employment verification letter. So employees can come to ESS and ask for employment verification letter for whatever the reasons that they might have, and then the employee self-service agent will talk to the document generation agent, and it generates the employee verification letter, bringing the data from the HCM systems through, like, which is kind of SAP SuccessFactors in our case, and then generates it and gives a downloadable link for the employees so that they can just request for it within ESS, and they can also download the document within few seconds in ESS as such. So there are many other workflows and the tasks, agents that we are building for our employee self-service agents overall to enable more cohesive and comprehensive employee self-service experiences and as a front door for all our employees and managers. With that, I will welcome Swati back to the stage where she can provide the preview of the upcoming features of ESS.
Thank you, Vinuta, for bringing everybody along on the journey we have been at Microsoft. With this, we talked about what capabilities are included in ESS and how our customers, including Microsoft, have deployed and enabled it. And now I'm going to give you a quick glimpse, literally headlines into what is top of mind for us as the platform as well as we're evolving the ESS agent. So we totally get it. Employees resonate more to solutions which feel more native to the organizations. So we are making sure that ESS can be co-branded, and you can make sure it can be made very native to, like, with the logo, with the accent colors and whatnot, to make sure it feels native to the employees. Secondly, we do understand employees are more on the go now, and the work is no longer constraints in the desktops. So soon ESS will be supported on mobile, thereby allowing the employees so that they can access the key information, extract the knowledge, stay informed anytime, anywhere on their mobile devices. And another thing that we are actively working on is, I'm sure we all are victims of that. Things are moving very fast. Things evolve. It's hard to stay updated with the information that is kind of, buried deep in your workflows and the work chat channels and their email inboxes. So what we are trying to make sure is, like with ESS, we can surface what matters the most to the employees. For example, in this case, Adi's getting notified that you need to request a device refresh, right? So this is where we are trying to make sure with ESS that becomes the go-to point for the employees, and that is the front door where they go into to stay updated is like what is relevant to them, as well as what is something that they need to immediately act on. And second thing is, like, we are working through the workflows. You do lose track of time. You need to hop or switch to the context. So this is where we are making sure ESS can help you pick up where you left and help you complete those tasks, whereby so that essential jobs do get accomplished without you having to kind of keeping a tab of it. And lastly, organizational updates, they do go out, right? So this is where I know traditionally we all have different portals in which the announcements go out. They can still continue to go out, but we want to make sure that as an employee, you can stay up to date with organizational announcements through ESS as well. And lastly, I gave a snippet of that in terms of analytics earlier. Most of the metrics right now, it is available in Copilot Studio for the makers, but we are working on enabling it through Copilot Dashboard as well, so that the decision makers who don't live and breathe in Copilot Studio, they can actively analyze and look at those insights coming in from the ESS usage and adoption. With this, we have gotten you all along on the journey, what ESS has been up to and where we are headed next. What's next for you all? So as Carl mentioned, we are rolling out GA. We have enabled the phased rollout of Employee Self-Service Agent, and we have curated wealth of resources for you all to get started. These resources include tons of knowledge around technical documentation, in-depth video, the journey Vinuta talked about, like what we have learned throughout those. How do you form the V team? What sort of makes sure that you can have a successful pilot with Employee Self-Service Agent? So we have curated all that content. It's available through this. But for you to get started, I'll highly recommend work with your Microsoft representatives, and then they can help you make sure that Employee Self-Service Agent is the right fit for your organization and what next steps you can take to kind of get access to that. With this, I would love to bring my team back on the stage, and we want to open up some time for Q&A. After that as well, we will be around for next few minutes. So if you have any questions, feel free to pop in. And thank you so much for joining us today.